Guys, welcome to Fermented Friday. So today we are talking about half sour pickles or pickles, dill pickles, right? So we're fermenting them instead of canning them. But first batch, not sure. Not loving them like the beans, that's for sure. Anyway, so here's what we have. So I used a recipe that I got from one of our guest speakers on IIN, on my health coaching program. We had a guest speaker came in and talked about fermented foods and how to do them, gave us a bunch of recipes. So I used that recipe, and I can't remember her name right now, sorry. But I think I might have, maybe I over fermented them. I don't know. It says to ferment them for 3 to 7 days, and I fermented them for 6, and they smelt amazing. So they were all packed in the jar, and her recipe calls for covering them with the cloth, with the rubber band. And so I had that and had it sitting right behind where I usually do my Facebook Lives and stuff. And the last week it's been driving me nuts because it smells absolutely divine. So today I went to taste them and put them in the fridge. And so first of all, there is a white foam that sometimes films on top, and they said that's perfectly normal. So I just scooped that off, right? And then right away, a couple of my pickles started to pop up. They weren't popping up out of the brine before that, but as soon as I did that, they did start to puck up. And when I went to taste the whole pickle, it turns out that it is hollow, and so I guess that's probably why it's sticking up. So these cucumbers were so big, so I quartered some and I kept some whole. And the quartered ones are kind of soft and slimy, and I like my pickles crispy and hard. So I don't know. Anyway, we're gonna try again. So I will try another recipe and I'll let you know how that one works out. But this one is from the new cookbook I talked about on Wellness Wednesdays, a fermented vegetables cookbook. I'm going to use this one, and I got at the farmer's market, I was able to get some smaller pickling cucumbers, right? So I will try again. Now, it's like I said, it smells amazing, and so you want to just dive in. So I'm not sure, like I said, maybe I over fermented them. They are kind of soggy and not as crispy, but they haven't also been in the fridge yet either very much. So they do need to maybe go in the fridge, and maybe they will taste better when they're more crispy. I'm just gonna, because Sally is out here helping me. So I'm gonna put the lid on just in case she sneaks in behind me and helps herself. Anyway, so so this recipe I will try a little bit different, but I will put up both recipes for you because, like I said, maybe I just over fermented them or whatever, right? So this is a time-tested recipe. I just just not sure yet. So either way, what you're wanting to do is make sure that that you're just leaving it sit. So did I put bay leaves in the first one? I didn't put bay leaves in the first recipe, but this other recipe calls for some bay leaves. I put bay leaves in the dill pickle recipe, or dill bean recipe, and it was amazing. So I have them. Plus, I had kind of heard that, oh, you know what I put in there? I put in some tea leaves, in a black tea in there too, because I had heard that with regular pickling, that if you put a grapevine leaf or tea leaves, that it helps to make them crispy. Anyway, didn't work on that. But we're learning, right? Just keep trying new things. So I will put up the recipe for that, like I said. And this one is just taking so cloves, red chilies, bay leaves, pickling spice or mustard seed, dill seed, fresh dill heads or coriander, so whatever you want to do for your dill spices, right? And then the brine is different than the brine that we used in the beans, and it is 1 gallon of water, 1 gallon of good quality unchlorinated water, 3/4 cup of sea salt. So I haven't actually made my brine up yet. to put on. So it's 3/4 instead of half a cup of sea salt. So it's quite a bit stronger brine too. So in this recipe. So keep trying, right? So again, all you do is put your dill and your spices in the bottom or wherever in your, I kind of, because I wanted to kind of not make them all exactly the same. I was wanting to play with the things, so I kind of forgot. I got excited about pushing all the cucumbers in them. And I have a little bit too many cucumbers to make 3 jars, so I am going to make 4, I guess. But one thing that I'm finding that is important is that don't fill the jar up as much as you would if you were regular canning them, because they need to have enough space, and you need to have enough space to put your weight in, or whatever, however you're going to keep them in your brine. So I'm using these mason weights. I should just grab. Sorry, I didn't think to show you what the package looks like, because I just bought another package at P.P. Mart yesterday. So these are a glass weight that you can use, and you don't have to use those. There's all kinds of things. And in the cookbook I talked about on Wednesday, which is where I got this recipe from, they have lots of great ideas on how to weight it down. So putting a grape leaf on top or a horseradish leaf on top, and then you can put a plastic bag in and then fill the plastic bag with water. That can work, or you can do the same kind of trick like we did with the sauerkraut, where you would put a jar on top, fill it full of water, put a jar on top, and then that will help to hold it in, and then you can put your dish towel on top with a plastic band. So lots of different ways, but whatever it is, you want to keep that keep whatever your solution, whatever you're fermenting, needs to stay inside the brine. So that's important. So I'm just finding that I don't want to fill it as full, because then I'm worried that it'll get out and I won't have enough room for my weights. So anyway, this is what these weights look like. I got them at PV Mart here, but I mean, you can get them Amazon or probably your hardware in your canning section, your hardware, maybe even in some grocery stores. So these are Mason Tops brand Pickling Pebble Plus. They're called Keep Fermenting Vegetables Submerged. And the box is kind of cool. I've kept my box, and I gotta try to make sure to remind Ron not to throw them away, because I kind of liked the way they were packaged. So they're packaged all nicely inside there, and so that's kind of be a nice way to store them, so that when I'm not using them, because you only need them for when you're fermenting. Once it's done the fermenting process, then you take it out and then put it in the fridge, so you don't need to use them then. So you don't need like one for every jar. You just need them during your fermenting process. Then when it's done fermenting, then you can put it in the fridge. And then they say in the book here that it'll keep refrigerated for 1 year. So that's really good. It's nice that they include that, because that's always been kind of a question for me too, is how long should you keep stuff for? I've kept sauerkraut for a long time, as long as it's still in brine in the fridge. It tastes good. So I just keep using it. It tastes fantastic. So it'll probably still keep fermenting a little bit in the fridge, even though grape, but not as much, of course, because it's not got a warm enough temperature. But it has kept really good. I've never had any problems. I put sauerkraut on my Buddha bowls for extra flavoring. I throw in some sauerkraut in there. So anyway. Got off topic, sorry. But anyway, so that's how the pickled cucumbers are going. I'll let you know how the second recipe goes. But then you would take these. When you're doing fermentation, you want to make sure that maybe put them on a tray or on a plate. Put a plate or a tray underneath of them. Like I'll put all these cucumbers together on one cookie tray or something and stick them. So if they overflow, then it's all catches in your tray, so you don't want to put them on like a really good china cabinet and then have them overflow and wreck your cabinet, right? So that's probably a really good idea anyway, too. So yeah, so anyway, give it a try. Pickled beans hit. Pickled cucumbers, still working on it. But those are definitely ones that if you've got children and you want to get them eating better and getting them some fermented foods, these are things they already like, right? So don't fight the system. Find them something that they like, and then learn how to pickle it in a fermented process instead of just a vinegar process, and see what the difference is. But much better for our health, and you'll have a better luck probably of getting your kids to consume them too. Anyway, have a great day. See you next Friday.